I'm Colleen Schneider, and I'm a mixed martial arts fighter. I actually consider myself a pacifist. I've never been in a fight in my life outside of martial arts. But that's the only way you grow and develop as a person, if you choose to do things that push you and challenge you and make you uncomfortable. MMA is not the smartest career choice. It's something you do out of passion and love.
Whatever drives you, wherever you are on your journey, whatever you're in it for, we're in it together. LinkedIn, you're closer than you think.
Joppy in my headphones,
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you wanna end a 1 or 2 hour show to get the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Bold with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th of 26 saw the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.
What good, War Room family? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Dev McMillan. I'm in the building with my brother B. Austin. We got Jada and Styles this tonight because Jimmy, the Blueprint, is down in Texas, and what the price is on that oil. But look, it's Sweet 16 time, and the NBA final stretch is in effect. It's getting real. War Room Sports football contributor Fred Perdue is going to join us to dish on the quarterback prospects and maybe one running back prospect from the upcoming NFL draft. Gus Griffin is going to join us in just a few minutes with a few investment tips on the Sweet 16. So settle in, keep it live right here. If you want to on the conversation, make sure you join us right now in the JW Realty chat room. I'm tripping. The JW Philly Realty chat room. Got to get the name of the sponsors correct. Got to pay them bills at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or you could join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 15 to 20 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline. That number, as usual, 323-410-0012. One last thing before getting started, make sure during the week when we're not live on the air that you check out archive episodes of our show at warroomsports.com, the War Room Sports mobile app, iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, and most other places where you consume fine podcast listening. But what up, big man? It's been a crazy week. More school shootings, bombs, the president threatening to throw hands with former vice president. Why is America so embarrassing at this point?
America up there, I'm gonna say, yeah. Team America was one of the greatest movies ever made. Yo, salute to whoever produced that. I'm praying for
they're rolling over
our
their grave,
brother,
right?
Jimmy the Blueprint Williams. He's down there in Texas. He stopped the Austin bomb.
You're down there
fracking. Too soon. My bad, yo.
Yeah.
Stealing. Yeah, I'm tripping. Stealing oil. Man, it's crazy. They're gonna let Lamar Jackson play quarterback, or they're gonna move him to athlete.
Just Slash. He's gonna be Slash part 9. Because people acting like just because one person has a nickname, they haven't done it 20 more times since then. But yeah, he's gonna be another Slash. Yeah, but did you hear about your president basically calling out Joe Biden? Joe Biden talks some tough stuff to him as well. But at some point, you have to realize the office that you occupy.
One guy
you can't get
is
into
the president,
and
one guy is not.
Right.
Yo, I'm embarrassed. At one point I was embarrassed. Now I just laugh. He's entertaining. He's very entertaining, and he is everything, in my estimation, that this great country deserves. I did hear also recently that the UN weighed in on the reparations conversation yet again and said that America as a country owes reparations to the descendants of African American slaves. Now, never mind what those people would do with that money and how they would blow it, but the mere fact that the UN has repeatedly called the U.S. to task on that is a beautiful thing. I don't know how that ties into Trump, but I just get the feeling that Trump would support that.
I get the comments, and Joe Biden was on Access Hollywood, and no, I don't know where he was. I think he was talking about Trump's lewd comments from Access Hollywood. But wherever he was, I think he was on a speech at the University of Miami.
You are breaking up, and Andy Toe is doing the show with us. Go ahead, brother.
All right. So, give me a sec.
Man, you can have two. I've heard Joe Biden talk tough in the past, so it doesn't surprise me at all that he would get into a back and forth. He pretty much knew his role. Yeah, with Trump, he pretty much knew his role when 44 was around. So he didn't make too many waves, but he was known to talk tough and let a little bit loose with the lips from time to time. But it doesn't surprise me at all.
He let the Scranton come out of him at times.
Yeah.
So here's the comments from both of them, because we got to move on and get to the show. But Joe Biden said, they asked me would I like to debate this gentleman, and I said no. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him. So Trump got wind of this because, he repeated this at the speech at the University of Miami. So Trump goes on Twitter fingers, says crazy Joe Biden is trying to act like a tough guy. Actually, he's weak, both mentally and physically, and yet he threatens me for the second time with physical assault. He doesn't know me, but he would go down fast and hard, crying all the way. Don't threaten people, Joe. This is embarrassing, man. Seriously. And on this one, I'm not going to just blame Donald Trump on this one. This is embarrassing when two high-ranking, or, one at one time was a high-ranking official in your country, and now the highest-ranking official in your country, they're going back and forth talking about how they're going to throw hands and what would happen if they were to throw hands. Like, this is embarrassing, man. Like, these people lead the country.
Yo. I go down fast and hard and crying all the way.
Yeah, man. Let's move on from these jokers, man.
Oh my God.
Let's move on from these jokers. All right, so let's get into some hot topics. Brought to you by MyBookie. What's up, family? It's time to talk turkey. How much of it you can make investing with MyBookie. Since March Madness is here, if you haven't checked them out, this is the best time to do so. Lay down some dough. Score big on college hoops while you still can. Join us and thousands of other online players investing at mybookie.ag. Again, mybookie.ag. You tired of getting the runaround when it's time for a payout? That's why we urge you to join MyBookie. You win, they pay.
We're going to get
fast
you your money.
And without any hassles. You're wasting your time investing anywhere else. They even have in-game live investing so you can place investments, and we put investments in air quotes. You can place investments after tip-off, kick-off, face-off, whatever you are investing on. Join now, and MyBookie will match your first deposit with a 50% bonus. But when you do, just make sure you use the promo code WARROOM, all caps, WARROOM. Use the promo code WARROOM to activate this 50% offer. So visit mybookie.ag today, play, win, and get paid. All right.
Get your money.
So the Sweet 16 is here, and of course we just talked about investments. So we're going to talk with our investment pick guy and War Room Sports esteemed writer Gus Griffin about what he's thinking about the Sweet 16. Gus, what's going on? You in the War Room, good bro?
How y'all doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Gus, we're excited about
All right.
stocks you're going to tell us to pick. These stocks, these mutual
Well,
funds.
Gus started out the tournament last week with a 2-5 record. So this is nothing that he's not used to. He's used to climbing from behind.
Oh, my
You know,
God.
making it dramatic at the end, going on a nice little run to earn the trust of the good people out there. So, Gus, first of all, give us a Final Four update. What's your Final Four looking like at this particular moment?
Oh, man. I
Bracket
Michigan
Michigan
State goes down. And what was my other one? I think I had either Arizona or Cincinnati with y'all. I don't know, but they both went down, so it doesn't make a damn bit of difference. You know, hey, man, the one solace for me on that is everybody else is on the same couch as I am.
Yeah, it's a hard life for bracketologists this particular year. Seems like there's been more. Is it me, or has there been more upsets than usual?
Well, this year,
a lot of teams.
I think one thing. Yeah, I think this year there was no clear-cut dominant team. There was no Kentucky from a few years ago or whatever, you know. And so, for one thing, I think this year was a reasonable expectation that you're going to have X amount of upsets. In many cases, other than the Arizona one, in most of my situations last week, you know, the team won. They just didn't cover the spread in most cases. And I did have Loyola, but they were already on earlier in the day. So, you know, that's the way it goes.
No doubt. All right, so we're going to do 2 games this week, and we're going to start with the 5 seed Kentucky, -5 versus the number 9 seed Kansas State. What's that look like for you?
I would take Kentucky, leave that 5, and run for the bank. Here's the thing. Kansas State is a middle-of-the-pack team in a very good conference, and so they're not to be – you can't just walk by them. But the one thing I'll say, and this is going to be a bit controversial, of the Power 5 conferences, you can make a case that John Calipari is the most underrated pure coach in that in the Power 5 conference. Now, here's my case for that. Everybody, they don't give him credit for being a coach because he is a great recruiter. Hell, the Kentucky brand recruits on its own. But when you think about it, this guy never has a core together for more than 2 years. You get the one and done, you know, and he's chosen that path. So, you know, I'm not feeling sorry for him. But people don't realize they dropped out of the top 25 this year. And yet at the end of the year, they're playing their best basketball. You have to be able to coach. You can't just roll the ball out and get that to happen. This guy can coach. They're playing their best basketball. Take that, lay that 5, and run with it.
Right, and people might try to use the excuse of the talent level, but the people have to remember that the talent level, you know, most of the time for him are a bunch of freshmen. And
they're freshmen.
No,
exactly.
Right. And the NCAA tournament, even though those guys are going to the NBA, one and dones, in the NCAA tournament, it's always been an advantage to have some great upperclassmen on your team, you know, to balance things out with all the young talent that you have. And he still, you know, gets it done. So I agree with you.
I think he's a great coach because, to your point, Gus, man, we have seen very super talented teams across all the major sports crash and burn. So talent alone doesn't get you anywhere by itself.
It doesn't.
So you're right.
All right, so the second game is another number 5 seed Clemson, +5 versus the number 1 seed Kansas.
Okay, yeah, and I wouldn't be shocked if Clemson wins outright. And let me just say one thing about Kansas. This is a relatively weak number 1 Kansas seed, and it's because it's overall it's a relatively weak season, year. Now, having said that, I wouldn't be shocked if 10 years from now there is a consensus that Devontae Graham is a better pro than Trae Young. Just hold off on me. But I love Devontae Graham, okay? And I'm not knocking Trae Young, but I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. But Clemson has 5 guys averaging double figures. They may have the best starting 5 in the league. It drops off a bit. Their bench isn't the greatest, but I just think this is set up really, really well for them, and I'm taking Clemson plus the 5.
All right, so that's the 2 for this week. If you can get those 2, we'll be up to 4-5 prior to the Final Four, and we'll see how it rolls out from there. So, Gus, we will talk to you next week. You know, we always appreciate it, good brother. Have a good week.
Gus,
I will,
Gus,
and I promise to do better.
You can run the table.
I promise to do better than the football guy.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. All right.
All right.
Gus Griffin, everybody.
Gus.
War Room Sports investment picker. He helps you out on your investments, and look, like we said, man, if you could take some of your investments and go to MyBookie, MyBookie.ag, not .com, .ag, and make sure when you make your initial investment, and when you make investments from here on, just put the promo code War Room in there, and they'll match your initial investment by 50%. So check that out, man. Make sure.
To Gus's credit, we were far be it from us to ever give anyone any sort of investment advice. That is not what we do. We just entertain and inform. But, when you lose, there could be a tax benefit. I'm just saying. I don't know whether it is. It could not be one, but it could be one.
Just what I heard.
That's just what I heard. True. So even when you lose, you might win.
All right. I forgot to mention, man, for our listeners that are elsewhere around the country, like, what's up with you, B? Because you're down in the South now, so y'all not dealing with this, all these nor'easters that we're getting in spring. I know you don't miss that by not being up here anymore.
Not even a little bit. It's kind of chilly down here. It's about 55 degrees, sunny, clear, blue skies. It's not, the usual 68 or 70 degrees. It's down to,
and it's 45
50,
here.
57.
So pretty much everybody who, threw their back out shoveling yesterday or dug into their wallets and paid a hustling young boy some money, which, you don't really have too many of those these days. So when you find one, you're just so proud that you just go ahead and dig into your wallet and do what you got to do. I found me a hustler yesterday who didn't come to my house to, he had to finish all of the other hustling he was doing. He didn't get to my house until 9 o'clock and dealt with that monster of a driveway until midnight. So shout out to my youngin', my hustler. He's high school. I don't know if I should be saying his name on national radio, but shout out to him. He knows who he is.
True.
So we're about to go to somebody who never had these kind of problems. We're going to talk with Fred Perdue from down in the Sunshine State of Florida about some quarterback prospects, maybe a running back prospect in the upcoming NFL draft. So we're going to get Fred on the line right now. Fred Perdue, what's going on, good brother? You're in the War Room.
What's going on, fellas, from sunny 65? Man, it's great down here. It's great.
Man, it's 45 here, though. So everybody who did go out there and tear their back up or spent a bunch of money getting somebody to do it, it was a kind of waste of money, kind of a waste of energy. I don't do the shoveling no more, man. I made a decision last year after I read a scary article. I'm trying to preserve my heart because exerting that kind of energy, pushing a shovel or a snowblower and freezing temperatures, not really good for your heart, not really good for the blood pressure.
Ooh.
So, not that I'm setting somebody else up, but, I pay somebody else to die. That sounded terrible.
I'll keep my...
I pay somebody with a younger heart. Let's say that.
Hey, man,
a younger heart.
Hey, man. There's other ways to throw your back out exercising with in more favorable conditions.
And that's all good because I'd rather throw my back out than throw my heart out. So,
I'll let you guys keep the snow. I'll keep my hurricanes down here, man, any day of the week.
All right, so Fred, man, the draft is quickly approaching. Looks like Sam Darnold is going to be that guy. the number one pick potentially, had his pro day the other day. What did you see? Give us the rundown on Sam Darnold.
Talk to me.
Sam Darnold. We knew we wanted to see Sam Darnold, another USC quarterback. USC quarterbacks for whatever reason get this stigma because they run a pro style offense and they're everything in the NFL wants, and yet there's only been one that's really ever been.
Then they come to the league. They come to the NFL and they some trash drug juice. Minus Carson Palmer, who was never the same after injury, but pre-injury, Carson Palmer was on his way.
Oh yeah. And then we had Mr. Butt Fumble himself, so I don't even call him by his real name because after that you don't get your name.
Then you had the pretty boy Matt Leinart, and then you got Barkley. You can't get into anybody's starting lineup.
Yeah, he can't either. But Sam Darnold's cut from a little bit of a different cloth. He has the build. He has the arm.
So you think?
Now, granted, I'm not endorsing this young man, but I will say what I saw from his pro day, I've heard comparisons of Andrew Luck. Not so fast. Slow down.
Fred said all this good stuff I'm about to say, slow down. Don't say too much.
Slow down.
First of all, Fred, do you think, because I know a lot of, you hear a lot about Saquon Barkley. We'll get to him in a minute. A lot of people thinking, he doesn't even need to participate in this pro day. Do you think Sam Darnold needed to participate? Do you think he had the number one spot locked up prior to that? Or do you think he needed to be out there showing himself at every opportunity he got?
He needed to do this because when you don't throw at the combine, and I hate the idea that most fans say, he didn't throw at the combine, there's something wrong. No, not necessarily. As a quarterback, quarterbacks like comfortable conditions, whether it's like Teddy Bridgewater, they like gloves, or certain quarterbacks, they like certain receivers. Certain quarterbacks need certain play callers to be comfortable, a la a Joe Montana and a West Coast offense, short throws, timing routes. Some guys like Ben Roethlisberger, they want big throws down the field, lots of yardage, lots of touchdowns, big play offenses. Sam Darnold is the kind of guy that when you saw him, you see the build, great. We know you didn't throw at the combine, so you need this to solidify if we are going to take you with the number one overall pick. We are and when I say we, I'm putting on my GM hat. For the Cleveland
we understand. We know.
No, let's not get.
We know you didn't. We know you didn't trade your fandom to Cleveland. Nobody would do that.
No. Siberia. No.
We understand what you were doing.
But when we want Sam Darnold, we need certain boxes checked. Can he read a playbook? Not everybody can read a playbook. Not everybody can just get on the board and understand what's going. Not everyone can handle. Not every quarterback we see in college, especially now, can handle under center snaps. We need to see, can he get his eyes down, get them back up? Yeah, exactly. So when I see Sam Darnold making every throw throughout this process, after missing the combine and doing all the drills, but saying, "No, I'm not gonna throw." Okay, cool. And it started to rain, and it just seemed like everything was falling into place. He struggled slightly early, but then when it just seemed to rain, he got comfortable. And we always say, well, he's playing in a different climate. He's going from Southern Cal, where it's 65, 70 degrees and sunny, and now you're going to Cleveland, where it's going to be wet, rainy, snowy. It's going to be every kind of condition but sunny. You want to see him handle the football in adverse conditions. Well, this is the best way you can do it. I guess Jordan Palmer didn't inherit the physical tools, but he inherited the coaching ability, and he put Sam Darnold in a great position to succeed by showing off his talent in the rain. What a perfect scenario. Every throw was on point.
What is it that stands out to you about Sam Darnold, specifically in the context of transferability to the NFL? What are we going to see from Sam Darnold in the league?
Sam Darnold, we need that leadership, not just by example, but some guys need to lead. Being able to communicate, his ability to fit.
So he got a big mouth.
The title. Yeah, he might. Yeah. Even despite having this look on his face like he's just mad at the world at all times, Sam Darnold is a very good communicator. He knows the game. He has the IQ. Not football, especially at the quarterback position, is a mental position. It's not all physical. The biggest arm guys, Josh Allen, aren't always the best guys when it comes to going in the hook. But when I see Sam Darnold, you can put all of the factors you need into being a quarterback into a Sam Darnold and say he can be as closest to a complete quarterback in this class as you're going to get.
So he's a heady player.
Exactly. And
he's scrappy.
And for me, when I see he has touch. The one thing I never see in many quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, they don't have touch. Now, I'm not messing with Josh Rosen because
shout out to Cam Newton.
Beast. Ooh, shots fired.
Hey, B, you know the only thing now, when we fire shots at Donovan, we don't got to hear people talking about, y'all ungrateful. Donovan gave y'all the best years the Eagles ever had. Yeah, we passed that now. Super Bowl champions, bitch!
Yo, I hope that somehow Dev opened this can of worms on you, Fred, so it's his fault. I hope somehow this Super Bowl leads the dude never getting near Canton, Ohio. I hope that's somehow a part of the result. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the slander. I mean, I agree with you, but the slander it's real. But when I look at Sam Darnold throughout the pro day, and I have to say this, pro days are the most overreacted event of any quarterback's life because they're controlled snaps, no pass rush, certain T-shirt, or certain shorts, and the thing is, you literally have nothing. Everything is in your control, so you have to take that into context. But when he's making throws down the field, we saw his arm strength, we saw his accuracy, even in the rain. And for a quarterback, a lot of times in adverse conditions, and they do happen. Yeah, accuracy down the field. Accuracy down the field.
No shout out to Donovan.
Ooh. Carson Wentz ain't coming back to this yet. You still got Nick. Never mind. I'm gonna leave that alone.
I'm cool.
I'm gonna leave that
alone.
He's
better than Donovan too.
He just might be. But for me, when I saw the accuracy down the field, on the move, on top of all of this, I really thought that Sam Darnold may have solidified that number one pick, mainly because he doesn't come with the off-field stuff that a Baker Mayfield may get, or the things that the NFL, and we all know what the NFL doesn't like when it comes to being a guy like a Colin Kaepernick. And Josh Rosen can have those type of qualities because he speaks out. The NFL don't like that. So
yeah, but he got the complexion for the connection. So he got the complexion for the connection. So he can probably run off at the mouth a little bit more. Even though it is a time they might give us him. They might make an example out of him just to say it's even. So
and with all of
the score would now be like 460-1, but so
with all of these great things I've said about Sam Darnold, I still think he needs to sit wherever he goes. No quarterback in this class should start day one.
That's what it looks like the case may be, Fred. Because everybody's was a little puzzled with the Tyrod Taylor thing. So I'm thinking with Tyrod Taylor, that could be the most of what they're thinking. Like, okay, we pick up Tyrod Taylor. He plays in front of our rookie for 1 year. Mm-hmm. We're Cleveland. We do this right for a change, and just don't throw him out into the fire with a team that isn't proven yet. Maybe if Tyrod and the team can improve, and then you throw your franchise young quarterback in the next year, he may not be so shell-shocked, and Cleveland can actually improve for once instead of just being predicted by everyone to improve, and it never happens. So that's how I see it going down.
For me, I'm going along the lines of how I did last year with the Giants. It looks, all these signings, Tyrod Taylor, Jarvis Landry, it all sounds great. By the way, Joe Thomas just retired. You might want to fill that hole before we talk about 3 to 4 wins is kind of right now before we ever get to the draft or anything is where my
they got Tyrod Taylor. We don't need Joe Thomas to block for Tyrod. Tyrod gonna get on the court.
You know, I mean, everyone's
crazy though.
Everyone's excited. They're excited. They're really excited about it. I mean, they got Carlos Hyde. They got Tyrod Taylor. They have Jarvis Landry. They're ready to go. Yeah.
Hey Fred,
Yo, you know what?
Joe Thomas thought Tyrod was such a bum. He forced him into retirement. I ain't playing with this dude.
Ooh.
Like, come on, I ain't playing with this dude.
Yo,
right.
And it's funny that you say that, Dev. It's funny you say that because they said that Joe Thomas was actually positive about next season. I don't know how true that is, but he saw the signing and was like, "Yo, nah, I'm out." Yo.
No, Joe Thomas was really recruiting Kirk Cousins. Really, he was going hard recruiting Kirk Cousins, right?
Yeah.
I saw him drawn on social media a couple of times. He talked about him in interviews. He really wanted Kirk Cousins to come there. I guess Tyrod instead of Kirk, he wasn't feeling that. Fred, real quick, because I know we want to talk for a quick minute about Saquon Barkley. I got some questions for you, one from the chat room from Skyview Kev, kind of off topic because we weren't really talking this position today, but just in case you could answer. He said, who are the number 1 cornerbacks in the draft?
Top corner for me is Denzel Ward from Ohio State. He was the guy on the other side of Marshawn Lattimore a year ago when coming out of Ohio State, and he may just be a little bit better. For me, this cornerback class is Ohio State is loaded, and by the way, they have players you guys haven't heard about yet, and we'll get to that once the college football season is coming around. But they got a couple of good ones still, and it's not just in the secondary. Urban Meyer has a factory of athletes up in Columbus. So, but Denzel Ward is clearly the number 1 corner, and he could easily go top 5. He's the one guy no one's talking about yet.
All right, so Saquon Barkley, do you think, because I heard a lot of people say this, do you agree that he had nothing to gain with a pro day?
This one for me, you can always gain something from a pro day because you can whenever it's like a job interview. It's the second part of the job interview when they call you back for that second interview. That's what pro day is. We want to confirm numbers. We want to get you in front of coaches. By the way, Bill Belichick's walking around and he doesn't have a torn up hoodie. He actually looks like a professional. So who knows what that means? But as long as you're not doing anything that can get you injured or injuring yourself in a pro day, you know.
He has. Not in the pro day, but he's just in his regular life. You know, he's got a white girl pregnant.
He's busy.
He
out here running around eating.
I was trying to leave that.
You can get yourself injured.
He out here eating pork. He out here eating pork.
You can get yourself injured if the wrong people are close by that don't like that kind of thing. I don't want
Okay.
There's people out there that don't like that kind of thing, but maybe he gets a pass.
I do.
He's Saquon Barkley.
I know.
But that's dangerous.
For me, I don't think Saquon Barkley has much more to gain. Honestly, he's going through the process. Which is the NFL draft process. You go through the combine, you go through the interviews, you do your pro day. If you don't want to run a 40 again, you don't have to. If you want to run a 40, you can. The one thing about Saquon Barkley,
he's already proven himself in the 40. I'm not ever running a 40 again after that.
For me, when I look at him, he's not the number 1 overall pick. I don't know why anyone ever entertained that. I would never draft a running back in the top 5, much less in the first round. We can forget. All GMs, take my advice. You can pay me later. But and the number, everything shows it. Remind me the last first round running back you've seen that won you a Super Bowl. I'll wait. I'll wait on that. But
I don't know. Not even OJ.
Exactly.
Like, let me stop.
Start,
listen,
really
Brad.
thinking about it. Start really
OJ
thinking about
gonna
it.
give Saquon some advice.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Uh-oh.
Look, Tobias is in the War Room Sports Game Time group, and he said, I said months ago Saquon Barkley is Reggie Bush 2.0. I'll pass. He said, by the way, if Eli's last name was Jenkins and not Manning, they would have cut his ass 3 years ago. What do you think about that? I mean, do you think Saquon is going to be a New York Giant? Do you think the Giants are going to trade out of that spot? Do you think the Giants should do what I think they should do, which is go ahead and draft you a young quarterback because Eli is on his last leg? I mean, I know there's a different coaching regime than there was last year, but, you know, that coach who they were so happy to be together, and Eli helped him get the head coaching position because of what they could do together on the offense. That coach ruined his streak for no damn reason. So, you know, the writing was a little bit on the wall. They put him back in after they fired this coach, but there has to be a feeling around the New York Giants organization like we have to start working on this contingency plan for when Eli's either gone, retired, or whatever. So what do you think the Giants are going to do? You think Saquon's going to be a Giant?
The Giants, their moves have really got me going in different directions because as of last year, they drafted a quarterback. The blowback from that was really bad, especially after you bench Eli and Geno Smith, Davis Webb. I'm not really impressed. But Eli, it seems like they're wanting to, and then they get rid of JPP. So it's like, what are you doing? Because you're holding on to this 2 spot like you want to draft a quarterback, but then you get rid of your best defender on the defensive line where we know all the action happens, all your big plays happen. Because if you don't have a quarterback, you better be getting after the other teams. And, well, no one else on that D-line is getting after anybody. So are you drafting? Are you setting yourself up to draft Bradley Chubb? Because you don't have an offensive line to protect Saquon Barkley for him to be an effective running back. By the way, he doesn't run between tackles, so good luck with that.
I was saying, run between tackles and
yeah. So what are we doing?
The questions you're asking, JPP cannot put his finger on it, man. So I'm not sure.
You got bars today. You have bars today.
I see what you did there. I like it.
But to actually answer the question, I think the Giants will probably go with a defensive lineman in this situation or trade out. The best option would be trade out because at best you get more picks, and if you're going to rebuild, what's the best way to do it? You go through the draft, you supplement with free agents, and you use more picks.
Let me ask both of you gentlemen a question, and it's just devil's advocate to what Dev just said about Eli, right? So the New York Football Giants invested -$6 into their offensive line. Every single skill position player at the receiver spot was injured seriously, it seemed. And the tight end that's so heralded, I think he was hurt as well, and they were dependent on a Patriot-like running back core, which doesn't work for anybody but the Patriots. So,
and by the way, they lost their 2 best offensive linemen in free agency.
You said they what? You said they hadn't picked up one?
They lost their 2 best
They lost
They're losing
their
2 best offensive linemen. So.
Did they have best, as in BEST, offensive linemen at all on the roster?
Best is relative.
Justin Pugh is a capable lineman. Weston Richburg is a capable lineman, but you're talking a center and a guard here. You're not talking a tackle.
My question.
Wait, AB, real quick though. Let me tell Fred one thing.
Talent.
When you say best offensive lineman and you're talking about the New York Giants, this is how you respond to that.
That ain't hard to be in here, but still.
It's not hard to be.
Ain't hard to be.
Is Eli really washed up, or if you put the talent around him, is he still a starter in this league? If he's in Jacksonville, put it this way: if he's in Jacksonville,
I mean, he's still a starter. I mean, there's not
If he's in
29
Jacksonville, he's
quarterbacks
probably
better
throwing,
than Eli Manning. 20,
he's
30
still
quarterbacks.
throwing 15 picks a season, but I mean, it won't look as bad.
Well, his touchdowns might go up to 35. I don't know.
30. Yeah, I mean, he'll have a little extra time to throw that interception that you don't want him to throw, and you'll blame it on Eli.
Yo, wait. But is Fred's hate really based on Eli, or is it because Eli walked in and took Tom Brady's big piece of chicken? Like, is that what it is? Or it
I'll
sounds
never
a little
forgive
personal,
Eli for that one. The second one
exactly.
I
Eli
I
ain't no bum, man.
Eli's not a bum, but he also throws about 15 to 18 picks a season. So, and they're all
good. He's just a sharer. That's all. Sharing is caring. He cares about people. That's all that is.
In your division, that's great. For me, it doesn't help me much.
Right.
He didn't throw it when it mattered the most, or at least Asante Samuel.
Hey, Fred, so
mattered the most.
As we get closer and closer to this draft, we're gonna have you on here, bust it up with you. We're gonna take since the network is down much longer than we thought. Fred and I are gonna take some of our antics to War Room Sports TV and do some stuff on the YouTube page. Be Austin, whenever you're free, you're welcome to join us. We can talk a little football in that capacity until the network is back up and running. But Fred, until then, you got your spot, your segment every week whenever you want it. So we'll probably, most likely, talk to you next week, good brother.
All right, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
All right, no doubt. Fred Perdue, everybody, War Room Sports football contributor, college and
Fred.
NFL. And before
leave Saquon Barkley's girlfriend's cousins alone, man.
Before we rock on, we're going to go to the phone lines. I see we got the homie Tobias calling in. Tobias, what's going on, good brother? You in the War Room. Roll damn tide.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, the ref screwed Alabama against Villanova last week. All right, man, we got obliterated. We got obliterated.
So it's not a roll damn tide today. It's tide got rolled.
Hey, it's all about spring practice right now.
I was talking to Tobias on there in the group. Tobias was like, "Man, tell him to schedule us in football though."
Yeah. Hey, but I gotta say
like
a couple quick things, guys.
160 to nothing.
Yeah. Hey, I'll say these couple quick things. First, Kyrie asked Saquon about, hey, your girl got any friends? Hook me up. Zeke Elliott, too. We know Zeke Elliott going to be at the wedding.
Told him you and your girl can come on through to the next boat party. Yeah,
I know. We know Zeke going to be there. But here's a couple things. One, I'm actually happy, Tampa did trade for JPP. Hey, he got 8.5 sacks in one hand, and, they had to do something. They had, this guy got more sacks in one hand than a defensive end with two hands.
As soon as I saw that, I thought about you like, oh, go ahead, B, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, on one hand, I can agree with that, but on the other, you see what I did. I don't really think. On
the other, it just don't add up.
The problem is, though, see what happens is, when you have no other option and you go to the grocery store hungry, that's what happens.
You buy junk.
Yeah,
you buy junk. But
the sad part is he got more sacks last year with one hand than all the defensive ends combined last year, and that's sad.
No, that's impressive. Like when I told you, as soon as I saw it happen, I thought about you because you were talking about how your team wasn't giving any effort. JPP, his name doesn't ring bells like it used to, but I still think that's a pretty good pickup because, like you said, it's an improvement.
One hand
everything
still watches the other.
Yeah,
one hand still watches the other.
And that, 8 sacks is impressive for a dude who can't grab jerseys. Like, that's impressive, yo.
Dr. Claw, I thought about Dr. Claw from Respect the Gadget. That one hand. But, the thing is, though, also, let's talk this draft real quick. What in the hell are New York Giants doing? You have to draft a quarterback. What has Eli Manning done to the Super Bowl for them to be caping for him like this? This dude has sucked for like 6 years, and they still waiting on him to be good. He was always all right. He was never great.
But my thing is this, because quarterbacks, good quarterbacks can go until they're very old. And I think Eli could be effective if your team was in a circumstance where, oh, man, everything's tough. Everybody that was hurt last year is healthy, and the offensive line is one more piece away. All we need is a left guard or a right tackle, and then you go with that pick and you draft that person, then I could see that. But at this point, and I've always been an Eli apologist. I'm an Eli supporter. I think he's better than a lot of people give him credit for, but even I can see that it's time. You know what I'm saying? Even if Eli's going to be there for another year or two, he should be there tutoring the next person, especially while they have a draft pick this high. The Giants aren't garbage every year, so this could be their only opportunity.
They're not Cleveland
to be in the mix. This high. Yeah, right. They're not Cleveland where all right, we're gonna get another shot at it next year. We didn't get Carson Wentz. We didn't get Deshaun Watson. We're gonna get another shot at this. The Giants aren't in that position.
Cool. Don't worry about it.
They need to strike while the iron is hot. But hey, if they go get their running back, whatever.
It's hard to be in that position. Because, like, for instance, Tampa went 5-11, and they're picking 7. So you have to really be god-awful to pick 1 and 2, but you also have to hope it's a good quarterback draft also. But there's been some drafts where you're number 1 overall, and you start taking Eric Fisher number 1 overall.
Right. But that's the thing. This isn't that draft. Next year might be that draft, so they don't want to, rest on their laurels like, oh, we'll wait till next year. So you might not want to do that.
I don't want to. I'm kind of with Dev in terms of Eli. Like, I think he gets a bad rap because when a quarterback can't run, which Eli right now is slower than Peyton is, and we ain't even seen Peyton yet. But if you can't move, you got to get the ball out quickly. You got to get the ball out quickly if you can't run and your line sucks. But who are you throwing the ball to? Who is there to throw the rock to?
Juicy Booty.
So it's like he gets a.
Well, no, now. But he's talking about when all them dudes got hurt.
Yeah,
and even he's going to hold out. He's looking to be the highest paid receiver who's ever lived.
I got a question for you, gentlemen, though.
So we don't know how that's going to work out.
Am I the only one that thinks the Giants be a damn fool to give him or Odell all that money?
Nah,
is it because
I'm the wrong person.
You talking on performance, or you talking on the fact that he's risky off the field?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, performance-wise, he has a case at being of why he should be the highest-paid receiver in the league. But then you have to factor in other things like, dude, are you going to be available for us? And we're not even talking about injury. Are you going to be available for us because you seem to just been getting in a lot of stuff lately? So it's risky. But he has a case as a player.
I'm the wrong person to ask the bias because I'm biased. I'm one of these people that believes there's only like 4 or 5 guys that actually deserve that type of bread. And so I don't believe that he's top 3 at the position. So I don't even think we should have the conversation. Like from a talent standpoint, talent, he could end up being, he has the talent to be the best to ever do it. But actual application on the field, which we have to factor in performance, we have to factor in health, we have to factor in availability.
Obsession. He don't seem obsessed. He don't seem obsessed.
Yeah, he's concerned.
You got to be a weirdo to get that kind of thing.
That's a great point, Dad.
Weirdos don't party as much as he does.
Not star, because he's already
you gotta be a weirdo.
But there's a level of obsession, and we're drawing. And I know when you say that, Dev, you're drawing directly from 2 people, Jordan and Kobe.
And
those dudes,
weirdos,
and maybe Jerry Rice. Like, those guys were actually sick in the head, obsessed with their craft. They weren't concerned about their brand. Football.
Well, Jerry doesn't sit down to eat. B. Jerry is so obsessed he wears his chicken on his face mask, so he's definitely a weirdo.
Yeah, he's eating chicken while working out. So, like, Odell is like, yeah, I want to be a great football player, but I'm not that concerned with being the greatest. As long as I can make it to great, it enhances my brand. I'm able to get on Instagram. I can dance. I can kiss other men, make up dances. I can and go sit in rooms with French models, even though I'm not really interested in them. I'm interested in their security. I can snort coke, smoke. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These are all things. I can get shoe deals. I can go to nightclubs and get paid a whole lot of money and then get beat up in the club, even though we know that wasn't you in Houston. I'm going to use it anyway. Like, these are all things that Odelia is concerned with that robs him, in my book, of the ability to challenge.
Did you see them all dancing at Shepard's wedding, B?
Yo.
All the
I didn't.
Giants,
I can only imagine.
They came in when they announced the bridal party, and they were all doing some weird dance, led by you know who.
Yo.
Hey, can I drop this real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I can't pay that dude.
I was talking NBA before foot get cut off here. The Toronto Raptors ain't ready. Can we just be honest about that? They had a nice little story. They ain't ready. But the thing
I agree. I don't think last night's game is the proof of that.
It had nothing to do with that.
I already thought that.
Hey, we already know what's his name. Kyle Lowry will take a bathroom break when it gets or powder when it gets tough. Yes, but the thing is that every time I turn the we have a TV on at work, guys. I say this real quick. And it's that all we ever hear about is numbers, everybody. We don't talk about what a person's skill set is anymore. We talk about, look at their numbers. Win or lose, we talk about their numbers.
We don't even talk about whether they're scared or not, Tobias. We don't even talk about whether they're afraid or not. Because some of these dudes are afraid when it really gets going.
Yeah. Yo, Tobias, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this too. That's an excellent point. Like, when it comes to the Raptors, I'm so proud of Kyle Lowry because he has figured out a way to be better than what he really is. Like, he's not that much better than any of the three of us on the phone, but the rest of the world doesn't know that. Like, he ends up looking like a perennial all-star in a lot of cases, and then when the lights are brightest and he's in those moments, all that's happening is you realize that he's just a regular dude. But for most of the season, he fools the world, and I'm all for it because it's always hashtag PSP for me, Philly support Philly. I'm happy to see him doing great. I never believed that he's as good as he is, if that makes sense.
Hold on, you keep going, but, let's let Tobias get out of here before he get his foot cut off.
Yeah.
Tobias, we'll holler at you next week, man. Thanks
for the call. Take it easy, guys.
All right, man.
No doubt, Tobias.
Yeah, it was definitely.
And speaking of getting his foot cut off, and we know where that comes from, shout out to Colin Kaepernick, who went to his meeting with the owner of the Houston Texans with a Kunta Kinte T-shirt on.
With the cut-off football on his T-shirt.
He's my favorite football player ever, bar none, anywhere, just for that. It has nothing to do with his ability to play quarterback.
Well, I'm sure it doesn't.
You went to that meeting.
I'm positive of that.
You went to that meeting with that T-shirt on. Come on, you the greatest ever. You're the greatest ever.
Oh, man. Habitual line stepper, and we love it. Step over that line. Good dude. All right, so real quick before we go to the stat of the week and then we move on to what happened while you good folks were on the grind, Chino Hills, the infamous former high school of the three Ball brothers, Chino Hills, after LaMelo is pulled out of school by LeVar, and, they didn't look so good in the beginning of the season, find themselves one game away from being California state champions. They are in the state championship game, and they're feeling really good about themselves because I don't know if you remember, but LaMelo Ball took a shot at them back in November on Twitter after his dad pulled him out of school. He said somebody need to make a 30 for 30 on Chino Hills, how it went from the best to the worst. And I think he was relishing in the fact that he, at the time, believed his absence was the reason for their struggles. And really what it looked like is they just needed to get together and gel, get some games in. Now they find themselves one win away from being state champions, which they were unable to win in LaMelo's sophomore season when he was, I'm not going to say the clear leader of the team, but
the clear gunner.
But he was
the clear gunner of the team.
But Lonzo was gone, put it that way, and LaMelo and Jello couldn't lead them to the state championship. So this is interesting, and I think it's a real bad look for LeVar Ball, because I think he relished the most in thinking, man, I take my son out of there and that program is just in shambles. It's just a S show. And, after all of that, him taking him out basically because the new coach didn't want to acquiesce to his whim and allowing Melo to run and gun and shoot 50 times a game from 40 feet and not play any defense, it's just a bad look for him right now. Because it's kind of backfiring.
I'm so excited for the day when they vanish into oblivion, into Bolivia. Like, I'm so looking for. I really, really, really am tired of anything ball related that. I just can't. I know it's our job as members of the media to discuss this stuff, but salute the Chino Hills. I hope you win the next 3 state titles without those guys. But I'm sick of them dudes, man. Oh my goodness.
And they rallied from a late game 9-point deficit to beat Bellflower St. John Bosco to reach the state title game up in Sacramento. So
you definitely wouldn't have been able to do that with LaMelo, because LaMelo ain't going to the rack like that when it's nut cutting time. When it's time to cut your balls, he's not with that.
All right, so our stat of the week, unlikely, at least at this point in his career, and he's never done it before, so you definitely feel it was unlikely here. But your man, Dwight Howard, formerly self-proclaimed Superman, he had a 30-30 game last night. He recorded 32 points and 30 rebounds in the Hornets' win against the lowly Brooklyn Nets. I don't even know why I said that, because, 32 and 30 is what it is, no matter who you're playing against, especially when you're Dwight Howard of late, even though he's quietly having a really good season, but it's showing you, the fact that he's having such a good season, it's showing you that his impact is nowhere near what it used to be, because as good of a season as he's having, the Hornets are going to be on the outside looking in once the playoffs start. And they were in the playoffs before he got there. They were in it before he got there. But let me give you some numbers and some names real quick, B, before you give me your opinion on this. This is the first time that 30-30 has been done since 2010. I'm going to give you a guess of who did it in 2010.
2010. 30 and 30.
30 and 30. Could only be one.
2010. Shaduki. Man,
I know 2010. Shaq got like 4 and 4 in 2010. That was his high.
The Ticket.
Nope. You thinking too far back. It was your boy, the artist formerly known as White Moses, Kevin Love, with the Timberwolves.
Kevin
had
Love
31 points. Had 31 points and 31 rebounds in a win against the Knicks. So he definitely
the dude that Jimmy constantly disrespects and overdoes it.
Yeah, he went on Twitter and said, "Congrats to Dwight Howard, the new Mr. 30-30, hell of a night." So prior to that 30-30, it hadn't happened for 36 years. I'm going to give you a guess of who did it with 38 points and 32 rebounds in 1982.
Lay down, Moses.
There you go. from white Moses to black Moses. See, this is the reason we called him what we called him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was doing things that only Moses Malone could do. So, yeah, Moses Malone back in 1982 had a 38 and 32 rebound game. So Dwight Howard did something that was only done once in the last 8 years and only done twice in the last 36 years.
It's even more impressive considering. It's even more impressive considering that as a woman, he's able to compete against men at that level. Man, that's tremendous. Shout out to her.
I got some more data for you. According to Elias Sports Bureau, at 32 years old, Dwight Howard is the first player 30 or older to post a 30-30 game since the captain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, did it in 1978. Also against the Nets. The Nets stay getting poured on. And the last player older than Howard to reach the plateau, you know who that had to be. Wilt the Stilt Sasquatch.
The guy that doesn't really exist. Overbrook.
and as much as we're like excited and impressed about what Dwight did and even what Moses did, what white Moses did and what Kareem did, Wilt only did it 124 times. So and no, I'm sorry. I'm disrespecting Wilt. He only did it 124 times at the age of 35.
The dude's not real. Yo, come on, man. Come on.
I read that. I said that wrong. Now the legend is even growing. I'm like, you don't even have that many games at one age. The last time he did it, in his record, 124 times. It's still crazy. He did it 124 times. But the last time he did it, he was 35 years old. That's what I was trying to say.
When you talking about Wilt, if you said the ball got 50 points 104 times in one season, what difference does it make? We talking about Wilt.
He really don't.
He did it. He did it.
Whatever they say he did. It's like 50 in power. Whatever they say he did that. He did it. So
and if you don't believe, then you got to answer to Sonny. So I believe.
No human being can do that.
No. And the fact, and you realize, B, as much as we play that clip and we go back to that interview with the great Sonny Hill, like all that makes me think to me, like he's not saying no human being but Wilt can do that. He's saying no human being can do that. So he's giving us insight on the fact that Wilt Chamberlain probably was some sort of alien figure.
Alien.
So
he's alien. He's original.
Shout out to Skyview in the chat room. He said,
on Dwight's big day, we celebrating Wilt.
Skyview said you can't spell eliminated without Eli. Yeah, 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't care about that. And then he said the cousin ball is pretty damn good. I don't even know who that is. So, Skyview, you're going to have to put us down with the Ball family's cousin. That's pretty good. Or I'll look it up after the show, see what you're talking about. All right. So let's
I know what he know what he's talking about. One of their cousins, darker skin, he's not a mulatto. He could ball. He's on the team.
He gets it in.
I know this guy, but I don't know how I knew that, but yeah.
All right, before we get into why y'all on the grind, though, you guys can check out our website at warroomsports.com. While you're there, take your time, look around, click on that Contact Us tab to send us a message about the company, the show, to inquire about sponsorship and advertising opportunities, joining the network, or if you need more information on how to get 50% bonus on your investment picks. For general inquiries, just email us, info@warroomsports.com. While you're browsing the site, make sure you click the memorabilia tab to buy War Room Sports small baller brand merchandise. Click the blog tab to read our latest articles on the All's Fair in Sports and War blog. Then click the respective icons and tabs to follow us on all our social media platforms, to subscribe to our iTunes podcast, to watch our webcast at War Room Sports TV, and to download our free War Room Sports mobile app on Android or iOS to get everything I just mentioned on the go. Join the JW Philly Realty chat room right now during the show. blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. To enter the chat room, just sign up for a free profile on Blog Talk Radio. If you don't want to create an account, you don't have to. You can sign into your Facebook and Twitter accounts, but while you're at it, make sure you click follow, because that'll get you updates and reminders about the show. We'll be taking questions and reading posts from Facebook, Twitter, the chat room, the War Room Sports Game Time group on the GroupMe app, or by text message during the show. But if you want to call in and speak with us, the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline is still open. That number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to talk. And shout out to Skyview, man, who holds down the chat room solo every week. I don't know. I think, more people are doing things on demand. So, our numbers actually prove that. We get way more listens these days on the podcast tip, on the replay tip than actual live. But, man, I remember a day when the chat room just used to pop. There used to be so much activity in there and so many people. But shout out to Skyview, because he still holds it down for us in there. While y'all on the grind is brought to you by Sports the Book. Tired of reading the same old sports books with the same lists, rankings, imaginary starting lineups, all of that jazz? Be sure to pick up your copy of Sports. Smart people only read the sports. Written by our very own Jimmy the Blueprint Williams. It's a mixture of sports and hip-hop culture will keep you on the edge of your seat, and it'll keep you laughing like you're watching a Netflix comedy special. Netflix, cut the check. Just go to sportsthebook.com or get your copy from our website at warroomsports.com. But wherever you get it from, just make sure you don't miss that movement, because, we are not just a media company. We are not just a website, and we are not just a show or a conglomerate of shows. We are a movement. Remember that. All right. Your man, Prime Time, Deion Sanders, kind of played himself a little bit on Twitter because he got a question on Twitter from Kevin Byard that says, how do you make this statement? Well, let me go back to what the statement was. Deion was recently on the NFL Network talking about how new Texans defensive back Tyrann Mathieu is the best safety in the NFL. So, that's a hot take. So a lot of people on Twitter had something to say about it. So Kevin Byard tweets to Deion, said, how do you make this statement and not include the 2 first-team AP All-Pro safeties? At Deion Sanders. Hashtag I need answers. So Deion saw this tweet from Kevin Byard, and he went in on the dude, basically hitting him with the, well, you never played type stuff. You know how they do. When people think just because you never played the game at that level that you don't know anything, well, he told him, you're looking at who writers tell you who's the best. I know who players and former players feel is the best. I rest my case. You continue to be a fan, and I will continue being the man. Hashtag truth. The only problem with him dissing this quote-unquote fan is the fact that Kevin Byard is the safety from
the NFL
the Tennessee Titans, who is one of the 2 All-Pro first-team safeties that he was referring to in his tweet to Deion Sanders, who was first-team All-Pro with 87 tackles and 8 interceptions last season. So Deion, who's supposed to be the pro's pro at especially knowing who the best defensive backs in the league are, didn't even know one of the top, safeties in the league, AP All-Pro first team, and he basically brushed him off, even though he had a check mark on his Twitter account. I guess he thought he was just a celebrity fan or something, but yeah, he brushed him off like he was a nobody, but he was actually voted as one of the top 2 safeties in the game this season. So what's your thought on that? Like, does that upset you as an analyst, B? Because that's one of the reasons that we got into this in the first place, because we always thought that the quote-unquote professionals never really knew much of what they were talking about. And the information that they did have, it got fed to them by producer after producer after producer. Like, this kind of proves the point.
It's always
what? Like, what's up, Prime?
It's it's always funny when we get into these conversations with some of the more some of the guys that we know and gals that are at larger networks than the illustrious and amazing and critically acclaimed War Room Sports, right? So you get into these conversations, and then we talk to the fans, and the fans will feel like because someone played the sport, it gives them some extra level of intellectual prowess with what we do. And I'm always like, these NFL, NBA, MLB guys that come in and do this, not to a man. There are definitely some guys that are very, very intelligent with, what they do. Shout out to Dominic Foxworthy. Shout out to Shannon Sharp, who kills his credibility by living in LeBron shorts. But other than that, he's pretty good on the social topic. Shout out to Louis Riddick. Like, there's guys out there. But by and large, a lot of these football players and ex-professional athletes are terrible analysts. Like, literally terrible, which goes to show you the networks know that they're just hiring these dudes because they realize the fans are going to tune in to hear them speak because they like them as a player and not pay attention to the malarkey that spews forth from their mouth because they can't analyze the game that they played. So, yeah, I'm not surprised by this at all, and I'm a huge Deion Sanders fan, but this doesn't surprise me in the least. Not at all. It's actually kind of sad. It's kind of sad. Kind of sad.
And it's human. We make mistakes. We make mistakes every week, but damn, Deion, he basically baited you, with the top two AP safeties. Like, when he said that, did you not know who that was? Did you not know who it was because it was one of the guys talking to you?
Obviously not. Obviously,
but I got something for you, and knowing you might not be too excited about this tidbit of breaking news. Breaking news: B. Austin, your Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles have come to a 1-year agreement with wide receiver Mike Wallace. Is that a Ricky Waters moment for who for what? I see.
Listen,
I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to have that other side just be a deep threat. So they basically dropped Torrey Smith to pick up Torrey Smith.
Torrey's gone. Yeah,
they dropped Torrey Smith to pick up Torrey Smith. He's gone, and now he's
actually
back.
Better. He's better. He's better than Torrey Smith. He's better. Wow. The reason we annihilate Mike Wallace is because Mike Wallace's opinion of Mike Wallace is that he's not Mike Wallace and that he's a number one primetime player, and he's been paid as such.
He's Deshaun Jackson Part 2. He's a one-trick pony.
If he's my number 2 or my number 3 guy, as my number 3, I'm cool with him all day.
Then you're cool with him.
He's better than Torrey. Torrey Smith. Yeah. Torrey Smith showed me nothing. I was honestly I was disappointed. I was disappointed in Torrey. I thought he was better than that.
I really didn't, but it is what it is. Remember, when they picked up Torrey, I was never like after hearing you say what you just said, I can sit here and honestly say, like, I'm not excited about this, but I guess on the meter it would register a little more than this time last season when they signed Torrey Smith. But shout out to Torrey Smith because he was on the team that brought it home for Jerome like 19,000 years later. So, even though he didn't play that well, I'll always have some semblance of love in my heart for Torrey Smith. That's his thing now. I'm going to just leave and go to Super Bowls and win Super Bowls. Like, Torrey's just a man for hire.
Go chip chase.
Yeah, so shout out to Mike Wallace. Welcome to the fray. Don't let me down. Don't make me, go hard on you. I don't know. There's not much to say about it. It's like, Deshaun Jackson Part 2. And even at that one trick, he probably was never.
In Deshaun's defense, Deshaun has great hands. He just can't run routes. No, he just won't run routes. Mike Wallace has stone hands.
So, yeah. I see. You reminded me to the fact that on this team he would be no higher than a number 3, which means he would start. But assuming that Aguilar keeps ascending the way that he started this season, then he would be clearly better than Mike Wallace. So I definitely
Mike Wallace is proof. Mike Wallace is proof that if you can run fast, you can develop your route running a little bit, you can get paid a whole lot of money in the NFL because he can't catch. He's not a great route runner, and he is definitely no one's number one receiver. But my man has made over $60 million.
Yeah, so it's not even like it's a deal up to $4 million. So I think it's incentivized. I don't know what's guaranteed. Might mean he get cut in training camp if he don't act right. But he caught 52 passes for 748 yards for the Ravens last season, and Flacco and the Ravens offense couldn't get much done through the air. So being the best of that bunch, we could if we wanted to also hit that with the house party soundbite. It ain't hard to be in here, but still. But welcome to Mike Wallace. Welcome to the Super Bowl champs. Feels great to still say that, though. Bills receiver Zay Jones was arrested after a nude, bloody confrontation with his brother in an apartment building in Los Angeles. I don't know if you saw the video, B, but there was a TMZ video that shows this man naked in the hallway, basically trying to get past his brother.
Hang out with your wang out.
He pushes him out of the way. He runs. You hear a woman scream, and then the camera pans to a different scene where there's blood all around the walls leading somewhere, and they showed a broken window. Now, authorities say that he kicked this window open and had to be talked from jumping out of it because they were 30 stories up. So I don't know what the deal is with Zay Jones, and whatever the deal is, I hope he gets help for it. As we always say, we know mental health is a very serious thing, and we do know that pit bulls like to wear Air Jordan. So, shout out to the bull, man. You got any quick thoughts on that?
Come on, I'm on everything. I'm on everything. I'm on everything. Yo, that is proof that Zay Jones is on them bath salts, brother.
All right, your man Rajon Rondo is back in the news. He's back in the news because Ray Allen's back in the news. Rajon Rondo ain't about that life of letting Ray Allen live on anything. So Rondo was asked about Ray Allen's new book that's coming out. It's called From the Outside, My Journey Through Life and the Game I Love. He mentions Rajon Rondo, several times because, when they were Celtics teammates, as close-knit as that group were, as close-knit as they, seemed to be, at least, Rondo and Ray Allen really never got along, and you can tell by the way that Rondo talks about Ray Allen, not even just with the leaving for the Heat thing, but I think that's what just allows Rondo to let his hands go every time Ray Allen is brought up. I thought they already had problems before he left and was a traitor to go to the Heat. So Rondo's comments on the whole thing, he says he just wants attention. I need actually some sales revenue from the book because, only publicity it's been getting is from my name. I need some percentage or something. And then Rondo said, obviously that man is hurting. I don't know if it's financially, I don't know if it's mentally. He wants to stay relevant. I am who I am. I don't try to be something I'm not. I can't say the same for him. He's looking for attention. I'm a better human being than that. I take accountability for my actions. Certain stuff happens in my life. I man up, but he has a whole other agenda. Who do you kind of side with in this whole situation, at least about the book?
Well, if you listen to the show, you know that my bias against Jesus Shuttlesworth's double, Ray Allen, is documented. I think that he's a whack human being, and so I liked Rajon Rondo's initial response to him. My problem with Rajon is that he didn't know kind of when to close off. He's only supposed to give him a 16, and he tried to drop 100 bars. And the 100 bars started getting a little cornier as he went on and on and on.
But
if
you know what,
just dropped a hot 16 and bounce.
You even say 16, B. It's 2018. The problems between these two is well documented. At this point, if you're going to say anything, I think all he needs to do is give him a half a bar. You know what I'm saying? At this point, it's like you said, Rajon really doesn't know when to close it off. And I just think, okay, we know. A lot of people are actually on your side when it comes to, especially because of what Ray Allen did, who he left to go join. So you don't really need to keep going on him every time his name comes up. If Ray Allen writes a book, you know you're going to be in it. And if you've admitted before that you guys had problems, if he's writing an honest book, then you know you're going to be in it. So it's really no use for him to verbally spar against somebody who's really not going to say anything back. So, for all you other cats throwing shots at Jigga, you only get half a ball.
No, I'm hopeful that this somehow plays into keeping him, meaning Ray Allen, out of the hall. I know it won't. You and I have talked about this.
You're on your mission to keep people out of the hall these days.
Yeah, he can't go, man. He can't go, man. He can't go. And he can't go. I'm gonna just leave it at that. And so hopefully this helps.
All right, well, speaking of that same team, your man Glenn Big Baby Davis, he was staying at a hotel in Aberdeen, Maryland. Shout out to Aberdeen, Maryland. The owner came to the room after smelling marijuana. Now, this happened in February. Davis told the owner to F off, which resulted in the police being called. He gave the police consent to search the room. A lot of marijuana was found, along with a briefcase containing over $90,000 in cash. So he's being charged with drug possession with the intent to distribute. So if indeed the amounts of money and the amount of marijuana, they said, about a quarter pound of marijuana, QP, and I don't really think that's like distribution level. When you got money, you know what I'm saying? That could just be your stash for the month.
A QP is distribution level when you're in high school. When you're a grown man, that's personal use.
Right. When you're a grown man who used to play in the league too. But this is my thoughts. If you do have a quarter pound of marijuana on you, and you have $90,000 on you, and you are guilty of smoking marijuana in this room, why disrespect the hotel owner when they come up? You know what I'm saying? And if they talk about the owner, that means he must have been in a motel. But either way, why disrespect him and escalate the situation?
Indian or Pakistani gentleman.
Then when you escalate the situation, you give the Jake consent to search your room, knowing you got a QP and $90,000 in there. What's wrong with him, B?
I'm gonna make what is wrong with Eam. I'm gonna make you even more upset. I'm gonna make you even more. You personally, I'm gonna make you even. That's happening. Done. Sponsored by mybookie.ag. I'm gonna make you even more upset because I'm gonna instruct you to go to the internet and look at his response to the whole situation. And whatever you believe that Floyd Money Mayweather, or Adrian Bronner would do if caught in the same situation is what Glenn Davis did. Because I don't call that dude Big Baby. I don't call another man Delicious. Whatever you believe, you, Devin, believe that Floyd or Adrian Bronner would do, go look on the internet and see what dude's response to all of this is. He is more than a noodle. He is more than a noodle. I will not acknowledge him in public if we ever are in the same space. He is a droodle. He is a droodle. You can't be in your 30s in this situation. First of all, the whole situation is, if I want to keep it a million, like, this is a situation that allegedly someone we would know would get caught in when they were 19 or 20 years old. Yo, you in your mid-30s and have made millions and millions of money. Yo, there's no excuse for this situation. None. No excuse.
Wait. So he gets on.
Just look at what
he gets on the phone, eating Popeyes with a briefcase full of money next to him. Yo,
I told you.
Give me a dang box.
I told
of
you.
chicken.
Whatever.
All right. Yeah, I can't. All right, yeah.
Yo, he's a strudel.
Not gonna do it right now.
Strudel.
Not even gonna do it right now.
Yo,
not even gonna do it.
You will never look at dude the same once you watch that. And the problem is, he's
I never
another
thought
one
too
of
highly
these
of him
Josh.
in the first place, but.
But he's a Josh Gordon. He's a Josh Gordon because he's going to get in front of the microphone and camera and be articulate. He's a pretty well-spoken dude. He's going to be articulate and he's going to break things down. Yo, he is a strudel, man. Your man is a strudel.
Right.
So, JoJo.
Well, that's what happened while you guys were on the grind. We're going to get some quick birthday shout-outs and we're going to go to the phone line. We see you Rob, we see you. We're going to get to you in a minute. Birthdays brought to you by the Creator. He's the one that gave you birth. So shout out J.J. Watt, who turns 33. Happy birthday to that man. Marcus Camby turns 44. Sean Bradley of Getting Dunked On fame turns 46. I still can't stand the Sixers front office from back then to this very day when they could have had their pick probably of Penny, Mashburn, or Weber, and they chose Sean Bradley with the number 2 pick. The reason why I said they may have been able to have their run at all 3 is because Weber was picked number 1 just to be dealt to the number 3 team for Penny Hardaway. So the Sixers could have made that same deal with the Orlando Magic and made sure they picked Penny so
could have done
Orlando could get their man.
Could have done.
The Sixers could have had Chris Webber, could have had Jamal Mashburn, but they chose 7'6".
Could have done
Mormon
all
bull, Sean Bradley,
all of that, and y'all picked a Mormon
who hadn't played in 2 years. Slew-footed. Never mind. Russell Maryland turns 49. Brian Shaw turns 52. Bob Costas is 66 today, and Don Chaney is 72 years old. We like to give a nice big War Room salute to all of these folks on their birthday. Salute. Shout out. You guys can check out our website at warroomsports.com to call in and speak with us about any of today's topics. Dial the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, press 1 if you want to talk. And we're going to go to the phone line right now because we got Rob calling in from the great state of California. Rob, what's going on, good brother? You are in the War Room.
What's up, man? I ain't got no snow, man, but I got nothing but rain, man. Yo, shout out to 2020 for that horrible song. Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Southern
hold
California.
up. Did you just enter with your own theme music? What was that? Yo. Rob tops himself every week. What's going on, Rob? Every superhero needs a theme music, huh?
Yo,
oh, man.
Yo, that was unexpected. Yo, shout out to Tobias, man. If you want to do a podcast, we can just talk about anything and argue for like 20, 30 minutes straight, man.
I support that. And I'll put y'all right on War Room Sports Podcast Network. So you talk to Tobias about that and let us know, all right?
Tobias and Rob.
The best of both worlds, man. Yo, except
radio on the radio.
I'm not R. Kelly. He ain't Jay-Z because I think R. Kelly tried to get close to Beyonce, but he found her real age. But anyways, man, how y'all doing? How y'all doing today, man? Cause I'm good.
Blessed and highly favored.
Hey, man, shout out to Sixers for getting 40 for actually eclipsing a 40 win total. I said they clipped 40 wins. Trust the process. I pray for Jamel Embiid's knees and pray that he stops flopping. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me.
Nah, you said Embiid?
Yeah, Embiid. Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front. He gets his flop on a little bit. He flails his arms in frustration too, and he's getting, he might have thought he got fouled and he didn't get a call, so he flails his arms, acting like that's natural movement, and he's always hitting somebody in the face or the head. I've asked somebody, like while I was watching the game, I'm like, thinking B might be a little bit dirty. I mean, he's a jovial guy, but if he keeps doing stuff like that, people are gonna start to notice. And I saw him hit a couple of dudes in the face where I was like, all right, that's kind of dirty. Like, there's no need for that arm action right there. But what's up, Rob? What you want to talk about real quick, man? Because, we gotta roll out in a second.
Okay, I want to know just two things. One, what do you think of do you think the Rockets have a legitimate forget being the Warriors. Do you think basically got to be the Warriors to win a championship? But do you think they have a legitimate shot being the Warriors? Do you think the D'Antoni system has a shot in the playoffs of winning a championship? And two,
absolutely not.
Who? The Rockets? Is that what you asked us about, the Rockets?
He's asking about the Rockets and D'Antoni and whether they have a legitimate shot to beat the Warriors, and I said absolutely, positively not. I don't believe in three of the top gentlemen in that organization. That would be in the playoffs. D'Antoni, Cliff Paul, and his hairline, or the beard. I do not believe in those dudes under the pressure of the playoffs. They got to prove it. I'm
about to say, it's a show me thing, because we've seen them kind of fall back to the pack in playoffs. They're going to get their numbers. So if anybody's just looking at statistics, you're going to say, well, he had this, he had that. But if you actually watch and study the game, you can kind of see more so James Harden, Chris Paul, he's never done anything special to step up in the playoffs. I wouldn't put him in the choke category. We've seen James Harden just straight up choke a few times. We've seen him just run from the moment a couple of times. Of course, and this is like Captain Obvious preaching to the choir, I'm going to give him a puncher's chance. And that has everything to do with health of the Golden State Warriors, but fully formed like Voltron, I don't think Houston can do it, no matter how well they're playing right now. They're lighting the league up. You have Harden, you have Chris Paul, and after that, I don't really think it's too much star power on the team. They just have a good team that gels, plays well together, and can shoot the three like no other except Golden State. But I just don't think it's going to be enough.
Star power, Eric Gordon putting up 20 a game.
Because where Houston is lighting the league up and trying to send a message lighting the league up, I think Golden State, not even just now with the injuries, I think even when they were fully formed, Golden State is to the point where they coast through regular seasons. Houston's going to get a whole new beast and animal, once they tip it off for the Western Conference Finals, if they do indeed make it that far. So what was your second question, Rob? Because I heard you was about to ask us a two-parter in this.
All right. What is your highlights at the highlights of the Underwear Olympics?
Man, I don't watch naked men
I'm about to say,
exercise.
I'm going to be 100 with you. Like, that's why we had Fred on earlier, because he comes on and speaks to everybody about the Underwear Olympics. I don't really deal in it too much, but I did mention while he was, talking, the obvious point was the way Saquon Barkley ran at the Underwear Olympics. I was actually unaware that he was that fast. I don't know what the Giants are going to end up doing, if he's going to end up there, but from my limited exposure to the Underwear Olympics, that's really all I took out of it. Question for you real quick, Rob, because your Philadelphia Eagles just signed Mike Wallace to a 1-year deal. You like that pickup?
They're hoping that I mean, he is a one-trick pony. The world we can get, yeah. I like the Michael Bennett pick more because pick up because he's a pass rush and he does that well. A great product of his system. I don't like the and we already know the whole reason why people don't they talk crap about Michael Bennett and him, taking a knee and whatnot. I think people are just looking for something to get mad about. And I mean, the most disrespectful thing I seen on the Seahawks was like Earl Thomas going to the Cowboys and just saying, "Come and get me," I know any play, and I think it just shows I think it shows how bad he lost that locker room. Like if any of our Eagles players did that to a player, especially towards the Cowboys, I think we also might take a flight to Philly to just stay out the side wait for doing the parking lot. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think I like what he's doing, and I wish we had like a full, what do you call it? Like this show had like a full even after the Super Bowl. Cause I know y'all had like a long time to talk about the emotions.
Listen, I'm gonna ask you a quick question. Who's better, Mike Wallace or Torrey Smith?
I would have to say
Rob, it ain't that hard. Mike Wallace.
I gotta say Mike Wallace. I gotta say Mike Wallace, but they the same player. But it's Mike Wallace got the bigger.
They are
pretty much.
They are. But Mike Wallace is the better version of that same player, so we got the better version. So I'm cool with it.
All right, last question for you, Rob. Who's gonna win the NCAA tournament?
I knew my Tar Heels sucked, and I hope not Duke. I'd rather Kentucky when there's the mafia-ass coach that got Calipari. We know the Five Families is still alive, paying him off the top, paying the players. I know they driving Porsche somewhere. They got in their garages, but I know I'd rather Kentucky win. If Duke wins, I will lose sleep. And by the way, I'm gonna talk to. I want to take a send shot to Mr. Purdue. Joe Montana never lost in the Snoop Super Bowl. Tom Brady did. Michael Jordan never lost in the NBA Finals. So cut that LeBron noise. That's all I got to say to the millennials, man. But yeah, I hope Kentucky wins.
All right, no doubt. Rob, as usual, man. Thanks for your call. But look, talk to Tobias, man. We will support y'all on that, man. So talk to Tobias. Get that done. We'll support y'all on that.
Let me ask y'all something. Which Philadelphia player, NBA player, would out of that you would, if you was to build a team and start with this one player, you only got to pick one legend, would it be Wilt Chamberlain, Moses Malone, Allen Iverson, or Dr. J? Which guy would you start with?
Moses Malone.
Don't disrespect Charles Barkley and not say his name, but I'm taking Wilt. Point blank, period.
Yeah, I don't think Wilt exists.
All right, but Rob, we'll wrap to you next week, man. We got to roll out.
Peace,
Thanks,
man.
good brother. All right. Yeah, and shout out to Skyview in the chat room. I guess he heard Rob's intro theme music. He said, yo, where's Rob? In the elevator at Macy's? He had the elevator music playing in the background.
He killed him. If Wilt is real, of course I'm taking Wilt. But, I legitimately stand by the fact that Wilt and Sasquatch are the same person. So, I'm like, I got to take Moses.
That just means Sasquatch got
My man had 30 and 30, 120 something.
Yeah, something wrong with Wilt, man. Disrespectful.
Yo, Wilt Chamberlain scored more points in 10 games than Kevin Ollie's entire career.
Yeah. It might be true, though. It might be true. All right. You stupid, man. NBA Wrap is brought to you by Digital Extreme Technologies. Do you or your business need a custom website? Well, for dynamic, professional, and most of all, affordable custom website solutions, You need Digital Extreme Technologies. No need to break the bank for an effective online presence. Top quality, results-driven websites at incredibly affordable prices. And yes, financing options are available. So visit digitalextremetech.com, or you can also look them up on our website and our sponsors tab. That's at warroomsports.com. Or you can call 267-205-4203. And for discounted rates, be sure to tell them that the fellas over at War Room Sports sent you. All right. And shout out to our brother Jimmy, who, in my opinion, been talking real reckless and disrespectful about the pioneers of hip-hop lately. But it's all good. It's all good. You know, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it later. All right, man. In the association, your man Ty Lue is taking an indefinite break over health issues. Is Ty Lue sick, or is LeBron sick of Ty Lue? Which one do you think it is, B? They look a little energized now that he's stepped away. Yeah, he said his goal was to return in about a week, and then that report became independent. So
that was a LeBron.
We don't really.
That was a LeBron decision. That was a LeBron decision. He said,
like,
"Look,
your
services are no longer needed in the Cavaliers community."
What the
bumble? And then that was it. And that was it.
He told Ty Lue.
I'm here to tell you, Nino Brown says your services are no longer needed in the community.
Yo, and the real thing, as I look at Ty Lue on the sideline, and I try and read his body language. I know we're not supposed to do that. Yo, he does look legitimately stressed, and he's graying at the rate of a United States president.
But how do you not? And this is what people don't understand, because so many people read LeBron James' situation the wrong way. They think because LeBron likes to get assists that he's the greatest person to play with and to coach. Like, all of LeBron's coaches are stressed like this because, one, you have a player who has way more power than you. You have a player who holds the organization hostage with these short deals. You have a player who, you know, since he's going up in the free agency every year, it means your job is on the line, because if they have to can you to make him happy enough to stay, then you're an afterthought. You know what I'm saying? So that has to be stressful conditions to coach under. And not you know, let alone the fact that you can have a great record, win NBA titles and all of that, and you're still in this position because everybody knows that he had way more to do with that than you did, and he has more control over it. So it has to be stressful. And I don't know if anybody out there has ever suffered from stress and anxiety, but when it gets bad, it can manifest itself in the physical. And, you know, you can feel physically sick from stress. And I do think, B, that has a lot to do. First of all, I think Ty Lue was in over his head because he was a LeBron request in the first place when he was in a position where I really don't think he was ready to be a head coach in the league. But, you know, when you have an Eastern Conference super team, the Cavs at least used to be, you know, it's not hard to get where they get every year, you know, with LeBron and his cast. But, you know, when he controls all of that, man, you can be stressed. So, what's up, B? What you think? I mean, AI stepped over him once. LeBron stepped over him every night.
LeBron said that AI is one of his favorite players, so maybe he's taking it out. He's taking a book page from one of his favorite players and stepping on Ty Lue as well as stepping over him. So, I don't know. I don't feel sorry for him, but I'm like, damn, it's a bad position to be in. Like,
I mean, LeBron can get them to hire Damon Jones as the head coach if he wanted to, and the organization would just do it.
But he can't. And people are so upset about the post that Damon Jones holds now and the mouth that he uses. They throwing soup on him. So we already know.
I like soup.
LeBron is irritating. LeBron is irritating because he brings his court and his court gestures with him. That's hard to deal with when you're trying to run a winning organization. And winning and Cleveland are not synonymous.
Shout out to KC Mack in the War Room Sports Game Time group. He said, he's talking to you, B. He said you hit it on the head with the Ty Lue aging. Ty is only 40. He said he was ready to be a coach, but not coaching LeBron. And that could be it, too. I mean, I still maintain I don't think he was ready to be a head coach yet, but I would even defer to KC Mack in saying even if you are going to be a head coach, you're not ready to coach LeBron James, because with that success, you're going to get that early success on your resume, but you're going to get what you have right here is an aging Ty Lue who's physically sick, probably from the stress of, leading this team that at the snap of a finger could be one of the worst teams in the league. but you're responsible for keeping the ship running while it's one of the best teams in the league. So, yeah, that's stressful, man. And, there's no secret KC Mack going to take up for his homeboy, though. They're from the same state, from the Show Me State. But shout out to KC Mack for his comment. Yeah, so it's crazy. Somebody called in and mentioned the game last night against the Toronto Raptors where without Ty Lue, Cleveland was down 15 at the half, and it kind of looked like, to the prisoner of the moment type people, they were getting excited thinking, the tide has turned. Toronto is probably going to get over this hump this year because they had a lead in a regular season game. But led by a pretty amazing performance by LeBron James, very efficient performance. And LeBron is an efficient player to begin with. So if you have to emphasize efficiency, if you didn't watch the game, you can imagine what kind of game it was. He scored 34 points, 17 assists, 7 rebounds. And the greatest thing about the 17 assists is that came with no turnovers. So, with LeBron, you always get the analytic nerds that always come up with the first player to do this in a certain amount of minutes on a Tuesday night when the team had on their away uniforms, when the temperature was less than 30 degrees outside type stats that they've made up for LeBron James.
This was the greatest performance in the 1,320th minute of March 21st. Oh, my God. Yeah.
So the Cavs came back, won the game, 132 to 129. I was getting texts from the LeBron regulars, like, look at this, LeBron is the GOAT, stuff like that. So only 15 times in NBA history has a player had more than 17 assists without turning the ball over, which is, pretty ridiculous if you, if you're a student of the game. Just a few nights ago, Ben Simmons, a rookie from the Philadelphia 76ers, had 15 assists with no turnovers, and he was the youngest or the first to do this and have that many assists without turnovers. So LeBron had to do his young boy a one-up the very next night. So shout out to LeBron and the Cavs for that comeback performance last night. So what do you think? I mean, a lot of people were thinking, okay, the Raptors have the number one seed probably locked up at this point. And we talked a little bit about it earlier. Do you think that Cleveland sent a statement last night that, y'all not going to just get rid of us that soon? Or were you like me, where I never even thought it was a situation to begin with? Like, I still think Cleveland's going to be representing the weak East in the NBA Finals, either way. And it's not because I think Cleveland is that great, because I think whoever they face in the West is going to annihilate them. But, the East is a little more competitive, but you got Kyrie injured. That might be more serious than they let on initially, which we'll talk about in a minute. Everybody else that's pretty good in the East are young and upcoming teams. You got the 76ers, who a lot of people say they wouldn't want to face in the first round. You got the Bucks. You got teams like that, but I don't see that as a threat to a LeBron James-led Cleveland team. So did you think Cleveland sent a statement, or did you think there wasn't a statement necessary?
I think that LeBron James is the greatest player still playing in the NBA and still in his 15th year is the best player in the world. And the way his Stanleys act, it's like, okay, we can give him credit for having a great game within the context of his greatness. This is what we expect from LeBron James. But the fact that at every moment they have to use LeBron James underwear-flavored mouthwash on every single thing, it's like, yo, I mean, I gauge him in the context of all-time greatness, which is a testament to who he is as a basketball player and his stature overall in history. And so these conversations for me are like, okay, I mean, yo, I'm proud of DeMar DeRozan for turning himself in from a triple jumper or a high jumper track athlete into a real legitimate basketball player, but he's still DeMar DeRozan. Like, he don't matter when LeBron James is on the court, and I don't even think he was guarding LeBron, and I don't really know the three-man for the Raptors too well. Whoever it is was just cannon fodder for an all-time great to do what he wanted, when he wanted, how he wanted. When LeBron is on and not feeling tired or not thinking about a movie he's making or not wanting to take a vacation or not, too concentrated on getting into an Instagram model's DM. When LeBron is on his game, he can do this to just about every team in the NBA, save for maybe two. So I'm just like, it's par for the course. This is who and what he is. Like, salute to him. But y'all have low expectations as his Richard riders and underwear garglers. Like, he's a great. I expect it. Now, don't go and lose in the finals and make an excuse, please.
Yeah. I mean, that's usually the case. That's usually the case. 2 minutes on our young Philadelphia 76ers, man. I think there's a lot of people coming around starting to trust the process. But there were a lot of doubters so far, in the beginning of this season.
Yeah, I was
and one who was very, but no, not even like this. There was, Colin Cowherd on his show. You know how he is, very obnoxious. He does everything in an obnoxious way. The over-under
the king of
for wins on
hyperbole.
the season for the Sixers was 40. So he very, very obnoxiously said, no way this team is winning 40 games this year. Well, I'd be happy to report that the Philadelphia 76ers won their 40th game last night, and they are up 15 points at the current moment on the Orlando Magic, going for their 41st win. So Colin Cowherd and everybody else who doubted the Sixers and the people who doubted the stuff that I was saying, before the season started, y'all can EAD. My young boys are here. And I hope they keep building the way that they're building. I hope they don't sell out for the LeBron plan next season. But, yeah, man, what have you seen? Like, this team, like, I can see why people saying, okay, this is not the team you really want to face early in the playoffs because they're young, dumb, and brash. Like, they don't know they're not going to know that they're supposed to lose. They're going to come out and give somebody their best shot, whether that ends in a series victory or not, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people really don't want that kind of smoke early in the playoffs. They've gotten up to the 4 seed. They've been hovering around 6 lately. And, it's bunched up there, so you don't know if they're going to finish 4, 6, 7, or 8. But, what do you think of them as a potential first-round matchup for a Toronto, a Boston, a Cleveland, and if they don't get the 4 seed, either a Washington or a Pacers? Like, I legitimately am not saying this as a homer. I legitimately think they have a chance against all of those teams, including Cleveland. I think they have a chance.
Yeah, I don't think they have a chance against Cleveland. But I would give them a shot against almost every other team to accidentally win a series. I could see that happening. They don't have enough shooting for my liking. And as long as Robert Covington is on the roster playing for the other team, there's always a chance that he'll help out the other team now that he's got all that money. But I could see them accidentally not knowing that they're supposed to lose and winning a series and then going home feeling good about themselves in the next round.
They picked up some extra shooting lately. They got Marco Bellinelli and Ersan Ilyasova back in the mix coming off of the bench.
Ooh.
So you got JJ. I mean, you can count Covington as a shooter when he's the streakiest dude alive. He's either garbage or good. There's nothing in between. They got some shooting. But I can see at some spots where you could say, okay, this lineup is going to be not void of shooting because Brett Brown is always going to keep somebody or two on the floor who can knock it down. But we know that as far as three-point shooting, Ben Simmons is useless. The center shoots threes at a pretty good clip. So I wouldn't say they didn't have the shooting, but I could clearly understand why this is not the team you want to face in the first round. Even if you beat them, they're gonna take
They're going to take
to
something
the
out
brink.
of you.
And I'm not even saying 7 games or anything like that, but you're gonna expend a lot of energy trying to beat these dudes because they're young, fresh legs. They're gonna do what they got to do. So shout out to the process. Shout out to the 76ers. Shout out to Coach Brown, who's had all of this patience. Even the fans criticizing him. Even this year, when the talent finally came, I told people it's going to take him a while to actually get to know his team, since they haven't given him a team the past 4 seasons. So it's going to take a while, and it's been steady. Like, they turn the ball over a lot lately. That's been kind of going down a little bit. They're taking advantage of the best part about this team is that they held their own in the first half of the season when they had statistically the hardest schedule in the NBA. Now down the stretch when they have the easiest schedule in the NBA and a lot of home games, they're taking advantage of it, being 10-5, about to be 11-5 after the All-Star break. The only part about that, is they're 1-5 against teams over 500. They're 9-0 against teams under 500. And I don't knock that because it's a young team that's building. But in the regular season, hey, beat the teams you're supposed to beat. I'm not mad at that. You're still a young team that's not expected to beat those good teams. But they'll sneak up and surprise somebody. So I'm good with it, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's good to see the city happy again and see good basketball in the city. So I can't front on that.
No doubt. Quick question for you before we roll. The Kyrie Irving injury might be a little bit, people are thinking that it could possibly jeopardize the season. They're thinking that the knee injury that he has could be season ending. And, people can say what they want. Boston is a pretty good team. They even played pretty well without Kyrie Irving. If Kyrie Irving is not on this roster for the playoffs, the Boston Celtics are going out in the first round. Bottom line. Any objections to that?
Absolutely, positively not. And I was looking forward to seeing Boston somehow making its way into a series against Cleveland. Like, I wanted to see that so bad because, although it's clearly obvious LeBron James, historically speaking, even now, right now, is a better player than Kyrie. Kyrie got that dog, that gene, that Jordan gene in his lineage, in his family somewhere, and he don't know that he's supposed to lose to someone that's better than him. And for spurts at the end of games when it's time, my man, I needed to see that. I wanted to see that. I'm not saying that they could have beaten Cleveland in a series, but they damn sure would have made it interesting with Kyrie Irving in that lineup.
Yeah. You're talking past tense. We don't know. We don't know yet. We'll see. Very last thing, because we got about 30 seconds left. Last year's MVP, Russell Westbrook, he's having a quietly brilliant season. He's averaging 25.4, 9.7 rebounds, and 10.2 assists. As much as we talked about it last year, he's 2.3 rebounds from averaging another triple-double. So if down the stretch he can get his rebounding numbers up, he could possibly do it again. But nobody's talking about Russ this year. Team is not that successful in a year when they have bigger expectations. We got to go in about 10 seconds, B. Where do you rank him in the MVP race right now?
Third. About third.
Third.
Can't give him the benefit of the doubt because he has the talent around him now, and they haven't had a chance to gel and figure it out, which I think they will at some point if they stay together, but I got him third.
All right, well, that's what's up. And everybody out there, we just want to thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining us for another briefing in the War Room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room on Facebook, Twitter, WRS Game Time on the GroupMe app, and all the callers who called in to holler at us. Special thanks to Gus Griffin and Fred Perdue for joining us for the NCAA Tournament Investment Report and the NFL Draft Report. Tune in next week, live right here on demand, as we catch you up on everything happening all around the world of sports, including continuing coverage of the NCAA Tournament and the NBA playoff race. So until then, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your week, and we'll see you right back here next time. Be sure to catch our conversations on Facebook, Twitter, as well as our blogs, webcasts, and network podcasts on WarRoomSports.com. Also, make sure you pick up a copy of Jimmy's book at SportsTheBook.com or at the mothership, WarRoomSports.com. Until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity and be steadfast in the war against ignorance. We'll see you chumps on top.
6 to 8. Yeah. War Room Sports. Y'all ready? Let's go. Stay in tune to Jimmy. Know the blueprint. Yo. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-1400-12. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Yeah. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, PJ, Scott Bay, Lee Austin. I'm Jock. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports, www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.
When you come to